Good afternoon, YouTube. This is Chuck, and it's Monday, August 11th, 2025, about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and I'm going someplace where I haven't had to go in quite some time, and the previous little snippet there probably give you some kind of a hint. I'm actually going to the laundromat. Well, why do I have to go to the laundromat? It's quite simple. My dryer at home quit. That was kind of interesting because yesterday, Sunday's usually sheets and towels day, and I went ahead and I did my normal load of sheets and load of towels and got that done. Then this morning my wife ran a load of clothes, and then I ran a load of clothes, my pants, and then when I was doing my shirts and other stuff, I washed them. When I went to put them in the dryer wouldn't work. It started squealing real loud, and the drum wouldn't turn. So I turned it off right away, and what I think's going on there is I think one of the pulleys finally gave up and galled and locked it up. So the drum won't turn at all. So I've got a basket full of wet clothes here. I got to go over to the laundromat and dry, and then I'm going to go home and start tearing that dryer apart and see if I can figure out what's wrong with it. I think the repair parts are, I've had it apart before, and I think the repair parts are readily available on Amazon. The only thing would be is if the motor's bad. It's most of the time the motors don't go bad on that. Now we've had that washer and dryer combo for 19 years. The wife says, well, why don't we just replace it? Well, pretty simple, a lot of money. I think I can repair it for around $100, and I can do it myself. So, got a little tip. You know, we travel quite a bit, and a little tip for you all. I don't know if you ever thought about it before, but if you get one of these little containers that originally had M&Ms in it, after you eat the M&Ms, hang on to it, fill it up full of quarters, and then you'll always have quarters for the laundromat, or if you have a toll bridge or something like that you got to go over, you'll always have change available. So I grabbed this out of my other truck, and we're headed over to the laundromat right now, and I'll take you along for what's going on. Well, this is our one local laundromat. I always thought it kind of odd that in a town our size we only had one laundromat. Good golly, we got 4 car washes. I don't know why there's only one laundromat, so call this a spoiler alert. If you're looking for a business to start and you got a little bit of money, put in a modern full-service laundromat. You'd probably do pretty well. I haven't been in here in about 10 years or so, but this place is a little bit dated, but they try to keep it up. So I got my stuff running in the dryer right there, and we'll get, hopefully it won't take too awful long. So we'll bring you back when we got something to show you. Well, there, we're finished with that. It cost me $1.75 and a little time, and didn't take very long. And nice folding tables there. They weren't real busy, so I went ahead and did all my folding right there. So that's all done. So I'm headed back home now, and I guess the next segment will be starting to tear that dryer apart and see what's wrong with it. Well, my laundry room is a little tiny room back behind the kitchen, and it's pretty congested. Water heater's back there, and so it's kind of hard to get to work at all this stuff. First thing we're going to have to do is get all that stuff off of there and move it out in here to the other room, because we got to take this top thing off of here that goes across both of them. And then the next step would be to take the top off the washer. So as tight as it is in here, I don't know how much of this I'm going to be able to show you. I'll try to figure out a way to set the camera up here and show you what I can. But I'm not sure how successful I'm going to be. I noticed in that previous segment, you can see a little bit of my t-shirt, and I'm sure somebody there will be wondering what this t-shirt's all about. This, I got this a few years ago in a little town called Rachel, Nevada. And Rachel, Nevada, if you don't know about it, it's right on the northeast side of the notorious Area 51. And there's a little restaurant and bar and motel there in Rachel, and it's called the Little Ailey Inn. And I think I got a picture somewhere of me standing in front of that. I'm going to see if I can plug that in right here. There, we've got all that stuff cleaned off to access that. And this panel here, it just lifts off. And once that lifts off, then we have access to the top of the dryer. However, of course, it takes two hands to do that. Back in a minute. Okay, this thing takes two hands to do this, so I have my wife being my camera operator for the moment, so let's see if we can get this thing out of here. And I'm just going to open up the back door here and set it outside on the back porch. Now we actually, I saw that. Now we actually have access to the top of the machine, which is the next thing we'll tackle. You can take this whole thing apart with a 1/4-inch nut driver, and we'll be doing that here real shortly. Now, all you actually need to take one of these apart is a 1/4-inch nut driver. In this case, I've got a 1/4-inch socket with a little ratchet, because these ones here in the back, you can't get to them. There's not enough room back in here to get in there with the nut driver. The other thing I brought is this thing to put the little screws in. All this is the lid off of a spray can of some kind. And it's just about the right size for little project work. So we're going to pop these last two screws out of the back here. One over in this corner as well. If you're a short person with short arms, you might have a hard time getting to this one. And of course, like everything else I work on, it wants to argue with me. We should be able to lift the back of this right up and just slide it right off, just like that. Bingo. Now I'm going to take this and set it here in the other room. What this does, this opens up the top of it where you can see the drum. The next thing we're going to do is take the front off. And that's going to be a little more complicated. There's actually two 1/4-inch screws down here at the bottom. You got to pull the bottom plate off. Actually, I can set you down here. And we can watch that happen. There's one. I did a video a while back. I changed out the heater, the heating coil in this thing. I'm going to have to go back and take a look at that because I don't even remember too much about what I said in that one. But now, I get up and open this door. And this part will come right loose. Right there. So now that takes care of that part. Move this out of the way. I'll bring you back up here. Maybe over here. You should be able to, the front of this thing should come right off now. Been a while since I took this apart this far. There's two more here. Phillips head screw right there. I'd rather walk out to the toolbox and grab a Phillips. I might have one that'll work right on this thing. This little multi-tool is my constant companion. I use it for something just about every day. There's the top off of this. It's got a bunch of controls in it, so we're just going to set this off over here to the side. Kind of block your view a little bit. And then that gives me access to these right there and right over there. And that'll allow me to pull the front off of this thing. How to do this, like I said, it's been a while. I've got a couple more down here in the bottom. Let me turn you off for a little bit and I'll bring you back when I get this further apart. Okay, we're back and we're ready to take the front of this thing off. And it took me a little bit, it's been a while, a few years since I've had one of these apart. But this whole front right here is held on with 8 of these little screws. And there's one in each corner of it. There's 2 down on the inside down here, and then there's 2 hooked up to the vent on the bottom. So once you get all those loose, then this thing should just lift right off. And there we go. We got something catching it over here in this corner. And I think it's a rubber. We got some kind of, there it is. Yeah, it's one of the drum rollers. Okay, so this front's clear off of there. I'm going to go set it in the other room. Let me show you what's over here. Okay, this drum is freewheeling in here now. This is the belt. This is the drive belt. So what we got to do now is we got to reach back up underneath there, and we got to disconnect that drive belt. And once we do that, we can lift this whole drum right out of there. Then we can see where those rollers are in the back. There's 2 rollers on the front that support the drum from the front. I checked those, and those were okay. So our problem is going to be back here in the back somewhere. So let me turn you off for a little bit, and I'll bring you back in a minute. Well, folks, we got the drum out. And let me show you what the problem is. First of all, if you look at these rollers, look at this roller here. Look at it wobble. Okay, that obviously needs to be replaced. You can see all the debris from down in the bottom, all that black stuff. That came off of that roller right there. This roller here, it's got some black stuff too, and it'll be replaced as well. But it's not too bad. This is the tensioner for the belt. And this is the belt itself. Okay? Look at this. The thing won't even turn. That's our problem right there. That's what caused the problem. The motor spins just fine. So the motor is not our issue. The issue is this thing right here. It's so bound up I can just barely turn it. But what that is, that puts tension on that belt. So let's go out and look at the other 2, because there's 2 more of these rollers. They're on this front cover, and you can see a lot of dark stuff in here and down there. That come off those other rollers. So there's a lot of cleanup going to be done in here. But we're just basically going to need rollers, the idler pulley, and a new belt. And that'll fix our problem here. And so let's go out and look at this other one right quick like. Spin you around where I can talk to you for a second. It's actually after 8 o'clock at night, and the wife went upstairs. I decided to fiddle with this thing for a little bit longer. But right here is those other 2 rollers. Now see, that's got a little wobble to it, and it makes a little noise. So it'll get replaced, but it's not real bad. Same thing with this one. It's got, you can see the play in it. They all need to be replaced. But Amazon actually has a kit for that. And so I'll go get on the computer tonight and take a look and see what I need. So I'm going to need 4 rollers, an idler pulley, and a belt. And I think there's a kit that comes with all that stuff. So this is going to be part 1 of this one, and I'm going to do it in my Fixin Stuff series. And so let me tell you, as I always do, take care of each other, love each other. And there's the drum sitting here in front of the oven. So I got parts scattered all over the kitchen, and we'll have to put up with that for a day or 2 until the parts come in and I can fix this. So for right now, until I talk to you again, let me just tell you, peace out.